Had the good fortune of managing a youth summit in Detroit with the late Howard Zinn, historian and theorist. That was in 2003, and we were entering a war on terror in Iraq. At the summit, Zinn audaciously suggested that, and unapologetically I should add, suggested that then President George Bush should be on trial as a war criminal. And there went the interest in broadcasters to promote the video of our event. You may know that Zinn wrote the fairly famous People's History of the United States, essentially a revisit of American history from the perspective of the normal guys who lived underneath the wars and corruption of the leaders. It's a remarkable work, but it may be one that a lot of people aren't ready to take on. Well, I have perhaps an answer for you. Also written in 2003, this little book, Artists in Times of War, by Howard Zinn, has 4 talks given by him, all loosely around his thinking about the power and obligation of artists, and all of us, to speak up, to tell our stories, to offer something counter to the grand media story we are singularly fed. To give you a taste, here's a section from this small, short book's opening pages. The artist may do more than give us beauty, laughter, passion, surprise, and drama. I don't mean to minimize these activities by saying that the artist can't do more than this, but the artist can and should do more. In addition to creating works of art, the artist is also a citizen and a human being. The way that society tends to classify us scares me. I'm a historian. I don't want to be just a historian, but society puts us into a discipline. Yes, disciplines us. You're a historian, you're a businessman, you're an engineer, you're this or you're that. The first thing someone asks you at a party is, what do you do? And that means, how are you categorized? The problem is that people begin to think that's all they are. They're professionals in something. You hear the word professionalism being used often. People say, you have to be professional. Whenever I hear the word, I get a little scared, because that limits human beings to working within the confines set by their profession. I faced this as a historian. During the Vietnam War, there were meetings of historians. While the war was raging in Southeast Asia, the question was, should historians take a stand on the war? There was a big debate about this. Some of us introduced a resolution saying that we historians think the United States should get out of Vietnam. Other historians objected. They said, it's not that we don't think the United States should get out, but we are just historians. It's not our business. But whose business is it? The historian says, it's not my business. The lawyer says, it's not my business. The businessman says, it's not my business. And the artist says, it's not my business. Then whose business is it? Does that mean you are going to leave the business of the most important issues in the world to the people who run the country? How stupid can we be? One of the things we learned about during the Vietnam War was experts. When the war started, people would ask, why are we there? These experts would come on television and tell us why. The British actor Peter Ustinov spoke out against the war in Vietnam. Then somebody said, Ustinov? He's an actor. He's not an expert. Ustinov made an important point. He said that there are experts in little things, but there are no experts in big things. There are experts in this fact and that fact, but there are no moral experts. It's important to remember that. All of us, no matter what we do, have the right to make moral decisions about the world. We must be undeterred by the cries of people who say, you don't know, you're not an expert, these people up there, they know. Jean-Jacques Rousseau said, I see all sorts of people doing this and that, but where are the citizens among us? Everyone must be involved. There are no experts. Howard Zinn. Other essays in the book reveal the powerful life of Emma Goldman and her resistance, the failure of Hollywood to produce historical films that do anything but advance the state line narratives, and the power of publishing. A lot here to offer those who don't know Zinn, and a potent little reminder for those who do.